So E, I'm going to read this passage to you, and I'm all ears. Hi, James from engVid. Today I'm going to use all in phrases and idioms and teach you how you can use them in common speech, and I'm going to try and put them into sections that you will find most useful to help you remember. E is saying right now he's all ears, and I bet you want to know what that means. I'll explain that to you, and I have another 7 other idioms. Let's go to the board. So, E's all ears. Before we even start, let's talk about what is all. What does it mean? Well, generally it means as much as possible, or it can mean complete or whole. The whole thing, all thing, complete. Excuse me, or the parts of it. Now we understand that. What does an idiom mean? An idiom is basically, it could be a phrase or a clause, but it's a bunch of words that are together that when you hear them, they don't actually make sense by themselves, but if you have the history behind it, you get it. One of my favorite ones to tell people is, it's raining cats and dogs. Clearly, dogs and cats don't fall from the sky, so you have to say, what does that mean? Well, it means it's a lot of rain, okay? So there's a lot of rain coming down. Now, it has an not ancient root, from like 1700s, that there would be so much water coming down that dogs and cats might like float away or, be swimming down the streets. So it's raining cats and dogs. What does that have to do with what we're doing now? Well, today we want to look at all and how all can be used in different idioms to have different meanings. You probably won't know what they mean right away, but by the time I'm done, it shouldn't be a problem. So let's look at the number one, the first one. I want to talk about emotional states. So it's a mental state or an emotional state, how you think or feel. So number one is, it's all in your head. That means imaginary. It's not real. If something's all in your head, you go, oh, I think I have I don't know, I don't want to say because I don't want to give myself a disease. But you might say, oh, I think I'm growing 4 heads. It's like, it's all in your head. It's your imagination. It's not real. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. Okay? Or I think Beyonce is going to leave her husband and meet me because she was on a TV program and she winked twice. That was her code that she wants me. It's in my head. It's not going to happen. Okay? Your friends will say you're crazy. It's not happening. What's another one? We'll go down to number 2. Oh, sorry. Before we go here, we'll go here. All shook up. Oh, yeah, I'm all shook up. Those of you like Elvis, that's an Elvis song. All shook up. What does all shook up mean? Well, it's to shake. Shake, it means to disturb something. In this case, to make it extremely excited. You can be extremely excited if you win the lottery. If I won $20 million, I'd be all shook up. Like, what am I going to do? How do I get it? I'm excited. I can also be very worried or disturbed when I'm all shook up. If you get very bad news, my baseball team, the Boston Red Sox, they lost again. I'm all shook up. I'm emotionally disturbed. Okay, and you can be worried as well. So that's emotional state with all. All in your head. Remember we said completely? It's completely in your head. You're all shook up. It means as much as possible you've been disturbed. Let's look to the other one. So we talked about mental state, your emotional state. Let's look at knowledge, how much you can know. All right? So if somebody's not all there, you're not all there, it means it's not working properly. Imagine if you had a car with 4 wheels but only 3 tires. They're not all there. Something's missing. You need 1 more tire to make 4 tires, 4 wheels. Makes sense. When somebody's not all there, something's wrong in the cabeza. In the head, there's something missing. Maybe half a brain, You got to be careful. If somebody goes, hey, watch out for E. He's not all there. It means he could be crazy. Okay? He could be not focused on the work. And the other one is, sometimes people say it like, that guy's not all there. You stupid. You's very stupid. Okay? Because you only have half a brain, so you can't think like other people. Sorry, that just seems mean. But in case people say it, that's what they mean. Now, the next thing about knowledge we're going to talk about is this one. Okay? If somebody says, for all I know, it means for the knowledge that I have currently, right now at this moment, all the information I have, this is what I believe will happen. So I'm talking about knowledge, and it's like my opinion on something that might happen. So for all I know, that girl's going to get married to somebody else because she left me. What do I know? She left me. So then I'm guessing, for all I know, based on my information of she left me, she might get married. Doesn't mean it's true. It's kind of my opinion based on what I know now. For all I know, this might be a great opportunity. It means all the information I have says it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Usually when people say for all I know, it's used in a negative sense. People don't go, for all I know, I could be rich. Not usually. It's usually negative. For all I know, that guy should be killed. Okay? Or will be killed. Know-it-all. That seems pretty good, right? You're a know-it-all. Actually, no. A know-it-all, and I did the short version, but I'll give you the long version to know what a know-it-all is. A know-it-all is someone who seems to have a lot of knowledge, tells everybody they have that they have all the knowledge, and it irritates everybody that they have so much knowledge because not everybody thinks they have all the knowledge that they have. Do you want me to repeat that? I'm not going to, because I don't know how to say all of that again. That is what a know-it-all is. It's somebody who thinks they know all the answers, and they make sure they let everybody else know this. But not everybody agrees. So if someone calls you a know-it-all, it's not a compliment. So if you're like, I go, hey, you're a know-it-all, you go, yes, it's true, I know everything. That's what all the people say to me, I am a know-it-all, because I know all. They're insulting you. It's something we don't like, okay? So we've gone from mental state, emotionally, imagining things, and being, excited or worried about something, to amount of knowledge you have. And let's see how this would play into work as we shift over here and we talk about work and all. Okay? Now, when somebody pulls an all-nighter, it means to go from the evening, say about 5 o'clock, all the way through the night to the next day. It means to continually work through the night, not to stop. Usually you do this in high school and university. You got an essay to do, it's due the next day. You're like, I'm never going to get this done. I got to pull an all-nighter. That's when you get a Red Bull or a coffee, you drink it, and you work all night to the next day. Cool? Now, if something was an all-nighter, it means it took all night. So if you went to a party that was an all-nighter, the party didn't end at 2 o'clock in the morning. It went from 5, 6, 7. It went on into the next day, into the morning. It was an all-nighter. Okay? So it's all night. So we've got night. Let's go to the opposite of night, which is day. Okay? It's all in a day's work. What does it mean it's all in a day's work? I heard one person say, all in a day's work means easy. That's not quite correct. So if you see that person, you should think carefully what they're saying. It means that there's a job that's a usual job in my work, which is actually quite difficult or unpleasant. I don't, so anybody else would go, ugh. So when you're a garbage man, okay, you pick up garbage. Sometimes it has dirty nappies. It means little babies have been poo-poo and pee-pee in this. And you got to pick it up and throw it in the truck. And I go, oh, geez, oh, God, man, oh, I'd kill myself if I do that. You go, hey, dude, it's all in a day's work. It's just what I do. Doesn't mean it's easy. It means it's a regular task or a regular thing I got to do every day. It's just in my day, okay? Sometimes you have a stupid boss. Yeah, you got a stupid boss. You got to look at that boss every day and you go, it's all in a day's work. It's all in a day's work. It's an unpleasant task or an unpleasant thing to do. By the way, the word task means job. It means something that you have to do. Okay, it's not I have a task, meaning I am working for someone, they're paying me. I have a task. It means I have some work that I must do. Like cleaning your dishes is a task, right? It's not a job, it's a task. You don't get paid to do it, right? Cleaning your toilet is a task you have to do. Well, I've got that out of the way. I have one over here. I couldn't fit it in. Sorry, but it's up here. Pull out all the stops. Notice with an all-nighter, we had to stay up all night to do the work. All in a day's work, it means, hey, this may not be a good thing, it may be difficult, but it's part of the job, you just got to do it. All right? All is done in the day. When you pull out all the stops, this means to put your heart and your mind, everything into something, everything. You want to put everything in there to get a result, okay? So I want to meet a pretty girl. You know, she's like walking in the street, she's really cute. And I want to meet her. And I go, pull out all the stops, man. Then I get my car, clean my car, get my hair cut, get some new shoes, get some pants, get a shirt. I'm going to pull out all the stops. Got the tie on. Okay, I'm ready. I'm pulling out all the stops. She's getting the good stuff. Even got the suspenders. Look, got the suspenders. Yeah, pulling all the stops out. Now, whoa, I have to do everything. You will do everything you can to get this person. Okay, so you pull out all the stops. At a job interview, you're like, I went to the best schools. I know the best people. I know the best people. I know the most terrific people. Okay, pulling out all the stops at all times. You shouldn't do it all the time. It's once in a while, it's okay, but otherwise, it's hard to, take and understand, Donald. Next, the last one. Now that we've done mental state, I want to work out to chaos. When things go crazy. Remember it says complete or whole? That means the whole thing, all of it. Okay? A free-for-all. Some of you right now are going, free? Like the lesson you're teaching. I go, yes, this lesson is free for all, but this is not free-for-all. A free-for-all is like a fight. It means there is no rules. It just goes crazy. Okay? In Canada, we have, what's it called again? It's Boxing Day sales. Oh, no. Let's talk about America. They have Black Friday sales. Once you've done this video, go watch Black Friday sales in America. Happens in November. Then what I want you to do is come back and I want you to watch our video or my video here. And when you watch it, I want you to look at what a free-for-all looks like. You'll see people grabbing, hitting each other, all to buy a pair of shoes. It's a free-for-all. There are no rules. It's crazy. Okay? So it may be a free-for-all, but it's not a free-for-all here. There are rules and there are hyphens. So I'm going to put them in there. Okay? So when there's crazy and it's just madness, you go, it's a free-for-all in here. No rules. Now, the next one is all hell broke loose. And you might go, well, aren't they the same? Because it says suddenly. Well, when all hell broke loose, a free-for-all means like you could probably see this happening. When all hell breaks loose, it's sudden. It's just boom from nowhere. And people are talking and everything's going on. Then the bomb went off, boom, and all hell broke loose. It was sudden change of craziness or madness. So they're similar, but not exactly the same. When you say all hell broke loose, completely everything changed, but it happened in an instant. When it was a free-for-all, maybe there was a slow fight, like one person punched another one. Because usually, honestly, we use free-for-all for fighting. If there was a free-for-all in the bar, the drinks were not free for everybody. All of a sudden, people in the bar started fighting. One person hit one person, that person got hit. What? Hit that person, and then all of a sudden the whole bar is fighting and kicking. It was a free-for-all. So you might say, all hell broke loose, and there was a free-for-all. What? You can put them together. Suddenly, it went crazy, and there were no rules. People were fighting. Cool, see? That's what you get when you learn English properly, is what natives would say. So we've taken the idea of as much as possible, or complete and whole, and I've shown you how, in each case, this is true. Complete, like an all-nighter, it took the whole night, the complete night, right? All in a day's work. When you take the whole day, that's what has to be done in the day. Okay? Pull out all the stops as much as possible. You do everything you can. All hell broke loose, right? Complete chaos or madness. And a free-for-all, same thing. So we notice how all, in its meaning, can be used in these idioms, and it changes the structure so that you can get a fuller meaning, right? You like that? I do too. But of course, you know what we have to do, right? I have to test to make sure you really got it. So we'll do our test. I'll give you a bonus and some homework. And, we'll do it right now. You ready? Okay. So once again, it is our time to do our little test to make sure you understand all that I have taught you. See, I used all. Okay, so let's go to the board and look. Chan was very worried and disturbed when he woke up. He believed there had been a big earthquake in China, where his best friend Mr. E was staying. Chan thought, based on what I know, Mr. E could be seriously hurt. He knew that there would be sudden chaos if the earthquake were bad enough. He did everything possible to contact Mr. E. Then he suddenly woke up and realized it was only his imagination. It's not a bad story, but we can do better. And the first thing we can do to do better is to underline or outline what needs to be changed and what idioms, all idioms, or idioms with all we can use to change it. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to wait a second. Those of you guys who, you think you pretty well got it, I want you to underline quickly the points that you think should be changed. And by the time I'm done speaking, you'll be done, and then we can check to see how well you did it. Okay? Give you a second or two. Now you can always fast forward this video to the next part if you've already done this, because I'm about to start now. Okay, good. So, Chan was very worried and disturbed. I'm going to say right here, we learned an all idiom for that one. When he woke up, he believed there had been a big earthquake in China. That's okay. Where his best friend, Mr. E, was staying. Chan thought, based on what I know. Okay, there. Mr. E could be seriously hurt. He knew there would be sudden chaos if the earthquake were bad enough. He did everything possible to contact Mr. E. Okay. And then he suddenly woke up and realized it was just his imagination. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 things to look at. Okay. Now, worried and disturbed, we have an idiom for that. We have one for based on what I know. Sudden chaos. Did everything to possible contact Mr. E and his imagination. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to figure out or think, go over your list. You can rewind the video right now. Go back to the first screen and you'll see all the ones I point out or indicated, which would be appropriate substitutions for what's on the board. Now there might be a word chaos. If you don't know what chaos means, it means when things are not organized, it's just crazy. It could be madness. Okay? All right, good job. So let's take a look at the board and see what we're going to do here. Let's do the first one. He was very worried and disturbed. I'm going to erase that because we don't need this at all. And you might remember something. I did an Elvis impersonation, if you know what Elvis is. That singer from America. Oh, thank you very much. Elvis, I'm Elvis. I'm all shook up. Yeah, baby, I'm all shook up. You're going to go on YouTube and go, Elvis Presley. He doesn't look anything like James. He doesn't. Okay, so it was all shook up. Chan was all shook up when he woke up. Remember, he was disturbed. He was like, ah! It's like he had a nightmare. He believed there had been a big earthquake in China, Chan's from China, where his best friend, Mr. E, was staying. Chan thought, based on what I know. What's another way of saying based on what I know? For all I know. Remember, for all I know? And that means based on the information I have, I think this could be true, right? For all I know. This could be true. So we've got that one. Next one. For all I know, Mr. could be seriously hurt. Okay. He knew there would be sudden chaos. Sudden chaos. What's another way of saying there? He knew that. Look at all these words we have to get rid of. Whoosh. So many of them. That all hell would break loose. He knew that all hell would break loose if the earthquake were bad enough. Do you remember what we talked about all hell breaking loose? It's sudden and there's craziness, no organization, no rules, just boom, madness. So he thought that would happen if it was bad enough. Now what's the next one we have? He did everything possible to contact Mr. E. Well, we're going to look at that one. Okay. Sorry, I got to put something back there. But he stop. I put spot and I meant stop. didn't need to put this part up, but the contact. So he pulled out all the stops to contact Mr. E. Remember when you pulled out all the spots, it means to do as much as you possibly can. Everything you can do to do something, right? Put all your energy, your mind and your heart and your soul into something. And the last one. Another way for saying his imagination is, sorry. Now, sometimes people say mind. I put all in his head. I'm going to put mind there because sometimes people say mind. It's all in your mind. It's all in your head. So it was all in his head. So now we read the story here, and it changes to, Chan was all shook up when he woke up. He believed that there had been a big earthquake in China where his best friend Mr. E was staying. Chan thought, for all I know, Mr. E could be seriously hurt. He knew that all hell would break loose if the earthquake were bad enough. He pulled out all the stops to contact Mr. E. Then he suddenly woke up and realized that it was all in his head. So basically, he was in a dream, having a dream. A lucid dream. A lucid dream? That's another tale for another language lesson. Maybe we could do one on dreaming and the states of dreaming. You might like that. Yes, you would. Anyway, before I go, I have to do the bonus as per usual. And then I want to give you your homework. Don't you feel like you're in school? And then you're probably going, yeah, because I hate you just like I hate my real teacher. Anyway, okay. So to give your all is similar to pull out all the stops. It means to do your best. When you give your all, you give everything you have. You do your best. And you remember the diagram of complete and whole, and as much as possible? That's where that comes in. Do you remember Mr. E said he was all ears, and I had that funny thing, well, those are his ears? It means I'm completely listening. So once again, completely, I'm all ears, I'm focused, I'm completely focused on you, I'm listening, okay? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket means if you put everything you have in one area, it could be lost or destroyed, or you risk losing everything. Now you can imagine having say a big glass bowl on the edge of the table, okay? And you put all your eggs in it, and then somebody bumps by. Well, all those eggs are going to go on the floor or crack and be gone forever. So it might be better to put some eggs in one glass over here and over here. So if one gets destroyed, you still have something left. We usually talk about this one in business. When business people say, don't put all your money in one place. You could lose all of the money. It's better to spread it out and spread out the risk. That's what this means. Spread out the risk. And risk means to put something in a position that it could be lost and you won't get it again. All right? And all yours. I like this one. L'amour. When someone says, I'm all yours, in a romantic sense, it means, I love you. Do with me what you will. I'm all yours, completely yours. Or in a more friendship thing, if someone says they're busy working and they get up from the table and go, okay, I'm done. I'm all yours. It means now, whatever you need, I'm here to help you with, right? So you can say all yours, or you can offer, imagine, I did imagine this. Somebody gets keys to a brand new Porsche 2018 and goes, hey, this baby is all yours. Throws you the keys, it belongs to you completely. Yeah, just like I do. And so does engVid. It's yours. We're here because you are here. Anyway, before I wrap up with this, I just want to say your homework is write a story, this is cool, about a big exam that you have to take at school, okay? I want you to include a party, I want you to include a fight, and I want you to include working all night. I said fight and night because they rhymed. Yeah, okay, it's kind of hokey, kind of bad. But yeah, trying to do that. Like there was a free-for-all going on, and we had to pull an all-nighter, you know, all of that. So you can just play with the language. The beauty of language is you can play with it and make it all yours, right? Cool. Anyway, so I'm going to let you go. But before I do, what I want you to do is go to engVid, do your test. Okay, there's always a quiz there, www.engvid.com. And don't forget to subscribe. There's a little bell. Ring my bell. Ring it, and then any video I get comes straight to you, okay? And as always, thank you very much. Your participation in this little experiment is always appreciated and valued. Anyway, you have a great night, or a great day, or a great afternoon, wherever you are, whatever may. See you soon.